up, guys? What is up? Welcome back to another episode of Deck Talk Podcast, which this is a special episode. We're going to be calling this our Black Friday slash Thanksgiving show. And it's going to, we're going to be giving a lot of information out. And the products that we're going to be talking about today is stuff that I guarantee you are going to want to put on your boat, kayak, anything that has to do with putting a vessel out on the water. You're going to want to put this product on here. And with that being said, I'm Colin Burnett.
And I'm Pappy J.
And we have probably one of the persons that has been on this Deck Talk podcast, probably the most, and good friend of the podcast, and has been with the podcast from pretty much day one, and has supported us through from the beginning till now, and we love the product. We have Chad Watts, the owner of Firefly Outdoor Marine. What's up, brother?
Man, what's going on, guys?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all doing?
Man, I tell you, if it got any better, I wouldn't know what to do. So,
I would. I'd be either fishing or hunting.
Yeah, I heard that.
right. So, we want to, with the Black Friday, we're going. Firefly is actually going to be doing a Black Friday sale. And Chad, can you tell us what the deal is for the Black Friday sale?
Yeah, we're pretty excited about it, and hope it certainly gives our customers some added savings there. Anything navigational, if it's our stern lights, if it's our big ones, if it's our juniors, if it's our bow light, if it's the torch series, the torch or the torch light or the SL4s, anything with a navigational light, it covers. So hopefully they'll pick up some with some really good savings.
Oh man, and that's
awesome.
That, and the thing is them every time I put the navigational lights on the boat, I'm always getting people to like, what kind of lights are those? Where did you get those lights? And because they stand out, in which you can see behind them guys, uh, the multicolors that he has to be able to, if you're the type of person that wants to match your boat, he's got the colors to be able to do it. I'm the type of person, I just wanted something to stand out. And if you look over his right shoulder there, you can see that the green. That's the color that I got, and I have no green on my boat. And Chad asked me, "Why in the world did you
Yeah,
do?"
why?
So, but but the colors aside, the lights. When you tell people that it's like fishing up underneath a full moon, the first initial thought that you can see running through their mind is like, there's no way that it's like fishing up underneath the full moon. And so I'll show people the pictures of like where I've gone. I'm at the bow of the boat and I'm going down this little bank, and you can see, and I say it was probably around like 10:30 at night, but you can see like the individual branches coming off from the trees, and which you have a video that I tell people, like, you could count the rocks and stuff on the bank, and it's just amazing, just with the light and that refracting globe that you have, what it does. It is just phenomenal. And but that aside, because every now and then, like, if you're working on, like, or you boat flip something and you look and you're going to look at that light, and then you have that brief few seconds of like eye blindness, you don't have it anymore with that globe. And but I will say I'm very interested in talking about the Torch series because what I've seen of it, it is phenomenal. I can't believe what you get out of a little bulb, and but kind of going back with the navigational lights, people ask because they're like they're amazed of how long it actually gets to where if you have a bimini top or something like that, that it could actually get up above your bimini top. But two, they're amazed of like where they ask one of the questions that I get a lot is will it break? And I'm like, no, we I have not heard of anything besides where somebody's ran it up underneath. I had a buddy of mine that happened to run it up underneath the bridge, and it caught and broke. Um, but that was his own doings. It was not factory doings.
Right.
But we we've seen videos and stuff of like going 70, 75 mile an hour down the river to where that light just kind of just leans back with it. And as soon as you slow down, it just pops right back up. And I tell them, you can go up underneath tree branches and stuff like that, and all it does is just kind of and just comes right back. But it's not flimsy enough to where it just kind of just moves like that all the time. It's just any kind of, I guess you say any kind of cover. As long as you're not, if you're just trolling, it's going to pop itself right back up. It's not going to.
Yeah.
But
So with saying that, which makes me want to ask, so what makes your navigational lights stand out for the marine use?
Well, there's a lot of technology that went into this light because there's a lot of different manufacturers for navigational lights, and just building another light. If we didn't change a lot of the things, it would have just been another light on the market. So it took me and six engineers 3.5 years to develop this globe, and it is a refracting plastic. It's got blends of 7 different plastics, but and to the naked eye, it just looks like, on the inside, it's just oval, but it's really not. So we diffuse and refract it in such a way that it really gives a soft moon glow. So what we were after in that is, one, we wanted to end the blinding light because that's what everybody has such a hard problem with. But at the same time, we wanted to make sure that that it's diffused in a way that it's going to aid me. If it's going to take up space in my boat, then it's going to do something for me. It's not just going to be there.
Right.
And the Coast Guard says, okay, we got to have a 360 light in the boat, and that's fine. We'll have one, but I'm going to have one that's going to help me really see what's right around the boat, what's in the boat, without blinding me or anybody else at the same time. So that was, and then we put those things on carbon fiber, which had never been done before, and then we telescoped them and took them to a height that nobody had ever done before, because fishing underneath the light changes everything. So, you start combining a lot of different technologies, and that's why we were given full patents on these lights, because nothing had ever changed since 1932. So, we hold full patents on these navigational lights. And so, and the only way you get that if everything was different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And how do the torch lights handle under on like real tough weather conditions, or you got choppy water out there? How does it fare out with that?
Yeah, the Torch series, we're really proud of these things. we did an awful uh, a lot of testing with them. We did an awful lot of um, measuring back and forth because we wanted a really precise fit,
Yeah.
and we didn't want, we have some manufacturers out there, will pretty much have one model, and they'll take care of a Minn Kota Raptor, or they'll take care of a Minn Kota Talon, or some of them you see a lot for the Power Pole Blade, um, and and but we made one for every one of them. We made one for the Power Pole Blade, the Power Pole Pro and Sportsman 2. We made one for the Minn Kota Raptor. We made one for the Minn Kota Talon, and it covers all models. Um, so, uh, and we stayed with our carbon fiber. These are all carbon fiber. Um, and then we wanted to go in and say, okay, we wanted the installation to be real easy. And so with these, this is our torch light, the LITE. Around here, we just call it the Junior. uh, but the we made it so that you see these clips. These go in the holes on the extrusion of the shallow water anchor. So you'll drill a half-inch hole. You'll run this through. There's a top hat grommet that can go through that hole, so it protects your wire. And then this snaps on, and once you click it in, you'll hear it click, and then you reach back here and you grab it, and you should hear 2 clicks, and that thing is completely on. Once you run that down your shallow water anchor, where you're in the back end of the boat, and on this one, it just attaches to your base that's end of the boat, and you're done because your switch up front controls this light. That's it. That's all. There's nothing else to it.
Yeah.
And Same thing with all of them. The probably the one that takes the longest is our. I may have one right over here that I was actually working on. Let's see if I can get this thing. I don't know if I can get it or not, guys. Yeah, here I do. Uh, this is our the Raptor, and I'm gonna try to push this on. I'm in the middle of building it, but this is our Raptor, and there's a bolt that goes through on the shallow water anchor. There's a bolt goes through, and there's 2 big rubber bushings, and they just pop out, and then this snaps on. Those 2 bushings slide back in, and the bolt nut goes on. Within probably 5 minutes, I've got the 20. This is 24 foot of 4 core marine wire, um, and within 5 minutes, I'll be inside the boat. This is all done with the anchor. That's it. And this is
Right.
the probably the one that'll take the longest. But I mean, 5 minutes. It's really not. It's really that I've seen them where they come in boxes, and you got to be putting these things together and all kinds of stuff, and that's just not what we wanted to do. So we took some. And the guy that does all of our CAD work is just David Roper. He is just out of this world mechanically inclined. He's so far over my head with that stuff, but he really did a good job with it because the fitment on these things are just crazy. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I really liked about those, how the shallow anchor was the fact of there's really, just like what you were saying, it's really kind of just pop in and go for the most part. It's not the where you're having to rewire your whole boat to be able to handle putting that light on. Now,
Well, and it stays out of the way.
right, and because you can run that wire on the inside of your shallow anchor, right,
right,
of any of your
right,
poles, and
right.
so, um, and I
Then
like
then
that. the other one to where um, how it would just plug right into your stern light.
Yeah,
Anyway,
the torch light, it does. It comes with 10 foot of wire, so it just runs down, runs to your where your shallow water anchor, the mount that mounts on the back of the boat. It just runs down there and goes in the back of the boat, and you're right there at your thing, and you're done.
yeah,
Mhm.
These are a little bit different. They're which, I mean, what's really cool is, once we redid this light, we were talking earlier. Now these are 750 lumens each, so you got 1,500 lumens between these two, and then your SL4 has 3,000 lumens. So when you pair those, my goodness gracious, I mean, you're looking down the lake, 250, 300 yards.
right,
It's in everything, so you can see floaters in the springtime really well. If you're rigging in a place that doesn't have a lot of lighting, you can turn this on, and do a lot of rigging, and it'll be extremely bright. But we used our patented technology with our light on here, and then we added these, and then these are IP67 and IP68. So is the SL4. So they're made to submerge underwater. And then once we do our wiring, all of our wiring is in this whole housing system. But then we come from the top before this light is put on, and then at the rear you'll see a top hat grommet will go in here and fit right in this hole, and then you have another one that goes through your anchor. Well, we shoot and fill this whole thing full of silicone. So once it's all in here, then it's packed full of silicone. So water couldn't even get past any opening. I mean, if it did, it ain't got anywhere to go because it's all completely sealed. So when we send them out, we have all the confidence in the world that I mean, they'll just be there for years to enjoy. So yeah.
yeah. Well, and guys, with again, this is being with Christmas is right around the corner.
Yeah.
If you are looking to upgrade anything on your boat, especially if you're a tournament fisherman, to be able to have this on your boat and be able to, because you can have that set up without even having to. I mean, it's not really an issue, but I mean, it's a few seconds of having to go back and get your stern light and put it in your rod locker, or it's but with being able to have this connected to your shallow anchor, it is. I mean, you just kind of all you have to do is just make sure you just turn the light on and off, and so. But again, with Black Friday, we want to be able to make sure that I mean this is the best time to be able to get the any kind of navigational lights and stuff for your boat and be able to get that upgrade um, and uh, and make sure that when you go to the website that you do use the code Firefly 15, and which we're going to have it popped up here on the bottom, and so make sure you do use it and get all your navigational needs and stuff for your boat. This is the technology that Chad's coming up with. Every time I see him, it never fails, Chad. Every time I see you, you're like, "Hey, listen to this. I got this coming," and I'm like, "God, what else can you think of?"
Yeah, well, that's can be a blessing and it can be a curse at the same time, because my little hamster in my head just keeps going, and I'm thinking after a while, most companies will bring out one new product every year.
Yeah,
At least they try to do that. We brought out 8 this year, and I'm like, you've got to quit doing this, because it is so stressful when I do that. But I meant to mention, with these lights, we send this little. This is a rocker switch, but this is a on which will be up at the top. That's very on. Off is in the middle, and then a momentary at the bottom. And when you let go of it, it goes back to off. So if I'm riding down the lake and I just want to take a quick peek, make sure there's no, and this lights up yellow, but make sure that there's no floaters out there or something, I'll just hit the bottom of the button and then let off, and it goes back
Oh,
off.
man.
Now, and this comes with all of our torch units. It does not come with the torch light, simply because it's just a nav light. It's controlled. Now,
Yeah.
I will say this, and we tried so hard. TH Marine, and I don't normally talk about other companies, but when there's a product out there that works for what I would like to do for myself, I don't mind mentioning it. But and TH Marine's got some good stuff, but they've got a foot pedal that's actually, they market it as a trolling motor momentary switch. You if you got a handheld, and you can just hit the button with your foot and it'll go and you can fish. Um, well, I tried like everything in the world to get TH Marine to sell those to me at a price that I could put in with this torch system, because that's what I put on my boat. Because what I did is I ran this up front, our SL4. I ran this up front, and I ran it back underneath the console, and then I ran our which I have the Minn Kota Raptors, and I ran this cable up underneath there. Well, I went to the foot pedal and then ran it over to my power board and grounded it there, and then ran my power over to the foot switch. Well, the foot switch has got it to where you can put some screws in there. So I mounted it. If I got my right foot on my hot foot, and my left foot is, it's usually got a place you can kind of put your foot at. Uh, I put that pedal just about 2 inches above my foot. So I'm driving down the lake, and all I got to do is reach up with my foot and tap that thing, and it turns all those lights off and let off of it. I don't have to let go of the steering wheel to hit my button. Uh, the
Now,
So for some of you that like that idea, you can get it actually on Amazon. I think they're like 30 something bucks, but for me, I like that no hands deal, and tried my darndest to get them to sell them to me at a reduced price, and I couldn't get them low enough to so that you wouldn't have to pay such a high price for the torch unit itself. But we do have that switch, and it goes out with every one of them, whether you want to use it or not, or you already have an existing auxiliary switch built into your panels. You can run it to that, so you don't have to put any more holes in there. But you will get one of these switches if you want it. So
now, now,
Oh, that's
Chad.
that's
Now,
nice.
with that foot pedal deal, like what you're saying that you have on yours, I'm not saying you're old, but you're kind of saying telling your age right there. I mean,
well, I'm getting
What,
close to 60, so it's
Chad? I know exactly what you're talking about, though, which is so that's not. I'm right there with you. I know exactly what you're talking about. Them old cars used to have them old bright light
yes, sir.
buttons on the floorboard. Yeah, I
They
know
did.
exactly what you're
Well,
talking about.
my first vehicle that old man sold me, this old '59 Ford pickup, and it had three on the column, and my lights and my starter. I had two buttons in the floor, and so I thought that was normal forever. So the but that foot pedal, being able, because when you're out at nighttime, especially in the spring, when we start getting that here in Alabama, we're night fishing in March. Well, there's a lot of flood and rain that happens during
yeah.
that time, and it gets in, and on the Coosa River, I mean, this is just a chain, and Lord of mercy, it just gets flooded out so bad. But there's a lot of floating debris everywhere. So being able to go down the lake at, you get up on plane, you're doing 30 miles an hour. Well, you can hit these lights and see if there's any floater, or if somebody's dock has gotten loose, or if somebody's boat has gotten loose and they don't have lights on because I really want to come home. I want to enjoy
Yeah.
fishing, and then I want to come home. So these lights are good, and that foot switch makes it easier for me.
Yeah.
Uh, it's not something I sell. I wanted to try to get it in there, but I like to put that out there because for me, it works great. I don't have to reach
Yeah.
down to something to hit a switch. So I'm just telling everybody. For me, that works fantastic,
Right.
and if it does for you too, go to Amazon. TH Marine sells that trolling motor little pedal. It's just a round little pedal. Works
Hmm.
fantastic. And if you don't want to do that and you want to switch, I've got one that'll be in the box. If you don't use it for that, you can find something else to use it for. These SL4s, we're seeing people put them on snowmobiles. We're seeing them put them on their tractors. We're seeing them put them on the back of their trucks, their four wheelers. These things are used for so many things. So if you want to pick up and put this SL4 on the front of your boat, great. If you want it for a different application, it'll come with one of those switches. So yeah, and it's a 12-volt system. So, and there's only two wires with it, so it's real easy to hook up. But the power and this SL4 probably shock you more than anything because I mean you're talking 300 yards, three football fields. This thing will light it up. So I was I was extremely impressed, and that's the cool thing about these SL4s and our torch spotlights itself. All this stuff is CNC out of solid billet aluminum, so they're extremely durable. And both of these are IP67 and IP68, so they can handle water. They can be handled submerged in water. So you're just it's just great for a lot of applications. So.
Yeah, and
Well,
it
and
and the thing is when Chad, with the Tennessee River, and especially because you're around the Coosa River and stuff, that and it's not just the springtime. Anytime that we get any kind of heavy rain, the next week is going to have floaters coming down the river.
Oh yeah.
And so,
Mhm.
uh, and if I mean, to be safe, I mean, we you got to have lights, and so to
Yeah,
be able to see, because if you don't see it, we don't want to have any kind of see any kind of accidents out on the water. I mean, with
exactly.
anybody, and that's one of the things that you have kind of preached the whole time that I've known you was, hey, we want to be safe. We want you to be seen. We want, but we want everything to be to look good and for you to be seen to where you can enjoy your time out on the water, and and you just kind of just step that up to where, hey, we're not just talking about nav lights. We're talking about now we're having like spotlights and stuff. The torches are being able to where it's helping you to get down the river at any time. So, um, and
well,
I just, the videos and stuff that I have seen has just blown my mind of really, uh, you don't really think like how far 300 yards is. And, so, but when you see the pictures and the videos of what these lights are doing to how it lights uh, I mean, you can light up a whole slough just as soon as you get in the mouth of it. Just
Literally.
turn that sucker up. You can light that sucker up.
Yeah,
Um,
literally. Yeah, sure can. Hey, you know what's funny is uh first the Lord blessed us to be able to get out on the water, and and I always assume everybody is like me. He's blessed you with an amazing wife, kids, grandkids, and I want to see them, and they want to see me again. So I want to go out to enjoy fishing, and nighttime's a great time to do it. And boy, it's so quiet and relaxing out there at nighttime. I can really relieve a lot of stress and be so much more relaxed when I come off the water. But I want to come off the water. I want to come home. I want to see my wife. I want to see the kids. I want to see my grandkids. And if I can do it to where it aids me in the boat, it making things so enjoyable, but also helps me get back home after a time on the water. That's I just won everything in every slot, in every part facet of that. I just won. I got to go fishing. I got to enjoy it when I was out there, and now I got to go home and I see my wife and kids and grandkids. So I mean, it's just a win-win on everything I'm doing. And so um, having these things help me accomplish that, I'm very thankful for. And when I hear a lot of people talk about how much it helps them and that they've enjoyed it, and it's really made a difference in their fishing and the way they're fishing and where they're fishing and the times that they're fishing. People are saying, I get out there in the nastiest, gnarliest, messed up areas, and I can just pick it apart in dead of night and just anticipating every cast just looks so wonderful at where I'm at, that I just feel confident I'm gonna catch a fish. So hearing those kind of stories makes it fun, especially for the manufacturer, because we don't get to hear a lot of those stories a lot of times. So yeah, it's
So
nice.
here, guys, I just popped up a picture of um, what that SL4 looks like from the bow of the boat, and you can see just how it just kind of shines, even in the back, that back ridge. It's shining on that back ridge of this going into this little slough. So just kind of give you a little ballpark idea of what it kind of looks like with it on the boat. So
Yeah, that picture was pretty cool. A good friend of mine, Dustin Helton, took that picture. He was up in Rogersville. I think he was on Cherokee Lake. And if you'll notice that you could see that SL4 go out there, but he has talons on the back of his. So he had our talon model on, and he turned his spotlights up a little bit. Now he's got them kind of directed out to the side and lets the SL4 take care in front. But if you look up there in that picture, in the towards the top left just a little bit, you'll see another spotlight hit the tree. You can
right,
see that. That was where these little lights that are on the torch unit was hitting that, and the SL4 was hitting directly in front at the bank level. So, and I appreciate Dustin for sending me that picture. That was pretty cool. Matter of fact, it you could see the stars in the skies. I'm like, dude, what kind of camera have you got?
well, and the thing that what it reminded me of is like going to like a baseball game and seeing how each lot is faced a different angle. And like if
Mm.
you was to go to a major league baseball game and the lighting on it is how they do it is made to where it's not casting any kind of shadows. So you will not see any shadows around like the players on the field.
Right.
So, but how it just kind of just lit up everything, and how you was explaining how he kind of just had them redirected just a little bit. That kind of gave me that idea of like I mean, that's perfect. I mean, you can you should not have any kind of issues with seeing anything. I mean, once you've seen
Mm.
the picture, I mean, you've seen the stars in the skies, you know that it was fairly late at night to where
Oh yeah, it was
that
dark,
was.
dark, and out on Cherokee there's certain stations there's not any houses, so when it gets dark out there, it gets like real dark. Uh, but when we were testing these, I used to play with these lights because I thought, having them come right over top of my head. Well, I didn't really like that. Me personally, I didn't like it right over my head. So when I put the SL4 on, I'm like, okay, it's going to take care of the front of the boat. So I took mine and I moved them out to either side, kind of like this, not extreme, but
Mm-hmm.
so one is going this way to my head and one's coming this way, and now when I hit that thing, I see, good gracious. I mean, you can go pull into a slough, into a cove, and you can see the entire thing because
Oh
of these side lights and then the one in the front. So, yeah, I can see everything.
yeah.
And for me, that worked best that way. And when you've got 4,500 lumens shining in going into a cove, you literally see everything.
Yeah. Now,
Oh yeah.
now can and this is just uh, kind of off the wall question.
Okay.
Can will that SL4, like let's say I wanted to um, put it onto like up where I park my boat is up underneath my sunroom.
Right.
So can it be plugged into a switch that like I have going into it as well to where it's kind of because it kind of gets dark. I've got a street light, but behind my house, it just kind of gets dark going back into it. So will that work to kind of even have it as a spotlight that I have going into like up underneath it? Can it be wired for that as well?
You talking about the ones on your torch unit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The cool thing about these torch units, and I've gotten this tightened down, but you can see with this one, your this normally sits on here, so I've got them turned so they're facing dead center of the boat. But if I wanted to take, I could make one of them go out the sideways. This is the way I run on my boat, where one's running out to this side, one's running out to this side. But if you wanted to make it to where you could turn these things on, this can turn all the way around, and
Nice.
you can point one behind you, one in front of you. They architect. I've got it tightened down, but you can go up and down, side to side, turn it all the way around, however you like them. We wanted you to have full control as to what best fits your need, and so that I mean, you can turn it however you want. Um, and fix it so how it best suits how you fish and what your needs are. The SL4 on the front will actually come with two mounts. It will come with a small low profile black mount that like this, and then we have another mount. Let's see if I've got them right here. It'll come with this small black mount. It goes in here, and the mount will bolt to the floor, whatever you're doing, and if you don't have a whole lot of space, or we have one that's got the Firefly bug built in, and it goes in and it cradles, about halfway to the thing. Now this is what I got on my boat. Now, with that said, I use this mount, the little metal one that comes with it as well. I'll use it like if I'm mounting it to underneath my bumper so that I can shine this back behind it. It shoots right underneath the boat, and I can see right out the back of the boat. Because I mean, that's a powerful beam. So if you want it on your four wheeler or whatever, you can mount that, and it doesn't have. It's just a real low profile mount, but boy, that sucker's strong. And so that allows you to be able to do to mount the SL4 and
We know that Firefly Marine Outdoors, uh, you guys really put out a lot of good light sources for your boats and well tractors apparently and four wheelers. But you also have some other cool gear that we'd like to get into.
okay.
Your foul weather gear.
Hmm.
Wow, you know, we've talked a little bit about it earlier, but why should someone pick the Fireflies fire weather gear or foul weather gear over any other brand?
Well, the one, this is all neoprene. And
Yeah,
so, we all, neoprene is naturally buoyant. It's not a life preserver, but it's extremely natural buoyant. But and air can't pass through, and heat can't pass through. So once you have it on, it's close to you, it's not hanging off of you. It makes fishing, if you got our Mizu foul weather gear, it makes fishing in that thing so nice, because you just don't have all this gear hanging on you. You don't. I have said it 100 times. It is so funny in the wintertime when you fish these little tournament trails or little wild cats, and it's 25, 30 degrees outside here in Alabama, and guys are coming up to the weigh scale at 3 o'clock. They've been cold all day long, and they've got half their closet on underneath that rain suit, and it's just dragging the pavement. You can hear,
yeah,
as they're coming down through. Well, you don't get that with this, and it stays close to you. It's not hanging off of you. You don't have to put all these clothes on, because normally when it's that cold, I'll put my tep suit on, which is a base layer neoprene suit. I'll pull this hoodie down over top of it, and I'll put my bibs on, and then I have my jacket. That's all I have on. And we did a test with it 2 years ago. It was 17 degrees outside. I went to the Alabama River. I made a 22-mile run at 17 degrees at 75 miles an hour, and I got there and
mm,
I didn't feel any of it. And I got up on the deck, dropped the trolling motor, picked up my rod. My hands weren't froze. I wasn't froze, because I have gone out and fished a tournament like that, with my partner, and before I built these suits, and we sat there for almost 40 minutes before we could get warm enough to feel our hands and to be able to even pick up the rod. So 75 miles an hour, 20. I can't remember if it's 22 or 25-mile run at 75 miles an hour, and it's 17 degrees outside. I just hopped up
that's
there and
cold.
dropped the trolling motor and went to fishing, and was laughing the whole time. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. So it does what it says it's going to do. We have changed some things with our Mizu foul weather gear. Uh, we changed the front zipper, so it is 110% waterproof, and this zipper is very, very expensive. But I wanted it on there because I didn't want to take any chance on anybody getting wet. Then we went to the bibs, and what we did, because we had some people was telling us the bottom of the zipper, they would actually get a little water that went through that, and I'm like, okay, they're supposed to be 100% waterproof. We don't make them. I have a manufactured company that specializes in this, that builds to our design. And I'm like, I design water to get in these things. Uh, so we did something pretty cool that I really like it, because it's really cool and it's a peace of mind to me. We went inside this neoprene and made another neoprene sleeve that your leg actually goes through. Uh, and if y'all will afford me just a second, I'm gonna go over here and grab the bibs, and I'm gonna undo the leg so
Absolutely,
I can show you. So
Yeah.
hang on just 1 minute, because it's worth showing. Hang on.
absolutely.
So guys, that the foul weather gear, I have put it to work, um, and I just there's no when you are out there and it's cold and you are comfortable, there's no greater feeling because I mean, when you can go out there and you're used to fishing lakes like how the lakes that we are were with Chickamauga and Gunnersville and Nickajack and stuff like that around, there's boats out there all the time. Summertime And so the only time that you really get to fish and there's not any kind of boat traffic to where you don't have to worry about somebody being stupid and running up on you uh, is practically in the wintertime. And that TEP suit, in which I've told Pappy and I've told Chad, like, if it's not below 30 degrees, I cannot put it on because it is so warm.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
but the foul weather Mizu suits, I mean, I keep in the boat at all times, and I really like the fact because they come in a bag to where I can easily just fold them right back up, put them in the bag, and they take no space at all. And then when I need them, I just need to just grab them and go. And uh, I've been in to where I've had it rained on us. I mean, it poured down rain, and I've had people that was on the boat that has had some uh, like bibs and jackets that cost twice as much as what these foul weather the Mizu suits cost. And after about 45 minutes to an hour of being in this in the I mean it was pouring down rain. I've had to have my bilge pump on because my boat was collecting so much water it was puddling up. And after about 45 minutes to an hour, the guy that I was with, he was like, he said, man, I've never been in where it's raining like this, where it's going through my bibs and jacket and stuff like that. And I just looked at him. I says, well, I mean, you get what you pay for, you know. I said, I don't know what it is, and I undone my jacket after it got done raining, jacket and shorts and stuff, and I was completely dry. Did not have any kind of. It did not seep through for where it's soaked, and I deeply love them. But again, that TEP suit, I done a picture. We had 9 inches of snow. It was snowing last year, and I was sitting on the back of my deck in 9 inches of snow drinking coffee. And I sat out there until I drank the whole cup of coffee. And it was, I mean, and that's all I had on was just a tep suit because I was like, I told Chad, I said, I'm going to put these things to work. I'm going to try it. And that was the first opportunity that I had. And it really, I
It,
mean, it showed. And so I,
that,
from then I was sold on them. I mean, for sure. So,
well, let me tell you what we did with this leg. Where this zipper comes down onto your bibs for your
right,
legs, it's got a flap in there to help if anything were to ever get past this.
right.
But I want y'all to look at this. Do you see this right here?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that is a leg sleeve inside of the outer shell. So you're in one shell, and then you have an outer shell, and they're separate. So this is a thin piece of neoprene, and it's completely waterproof. So it has to make it past this zipper. It would have to make it through this flap, and still it would have to go through a neoprene shell to even get to you. And then the inside of everything has got all the felt. The whole system's got felt inside of it, so uh, it's extremely warm. In neoprene, it was funny when we were at that tournament that was so cold. I had my tep suit on and my Mizu foul weather gear, and I reached up and pulled my collar, and steam was coming out of my thing. It was so cold outside. It wasn't that I was extremely hot. It was just it was so cold outside. I pulled that out, and steam just rolled out, and it shocked everybody. It shocked me too because I didn't know he was going to do that. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm just comfortable. I'm not freezing cold. I'm not burning up. But it was, and so I think when I did that, I think we sold like 7 or 8 of them within just a few minutes of those guys being there. Like, I'm just gonna go on and order one right now because that's just crazy. So the we are super duper proud of these bibs and the jacket that Mizu foul weather gear has really. It's fun, when you're out there and you're in that kind of environment. Really good equipment, you just come to learn to appreciate it so much when
Very
you're out
much.
there, so that you can enjoy something you like to do, and there's just nothing that can replace really good equipment. And I don't care if you're bow hunting or if you're rifle hunting, in some places you got to make long shots. Having good equipment, good rods, good line, good gear just makes all the difference in the world, and enjoyment of what you're doing. So so I try to keep that in mind in everything that we build, that is really good, high quality gear, and is going to serve them well. Same thing with our foul weather gear, whether it be our tep suit or our Mizu foul weather gear. Even when it goes down so far as our shore stacker boxes, where you could be out there in the summertime and be on the bank, have your light, have your tackle box. If your power goes out, put it in the middle of your living room. Throw your little drill battery in there, and we lit our light, our navigational light, one of these lights behind me, in that shore stacker box for 71 hours and 13 minutes. That drill battery kept that thing lit. So if the power's out and is out for a while in the middle of wintertime, well, you can put this little shore stacker box in your living room, and you can light up your whole house. And we have some people. First one, they were a couple from Texas, and they bought one for themselves and for their daughter and their son-in-law, because the power in Texas goes out a lot, and so they kept it in their pantry. And I'm like, I'd have never dreamed of that. A lot of people take it camping and put it in the campsite and play cards, and I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
so it's fun to design stuff like this, and then watch the different applications that people come up with to use it, and they really like it for that application. So it's just, that's for me as a manufacturer, that's and as someone that designs this stuff, is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Now, and Pappy and his wife, they go uh, camping. They've got a fifth wheel trailer and stuff, like
Mhm.
travel trailer and stuff. And which I told him about the shore stacker and stuff,
Mhm.
and how it would light up the whole little campground area where they're at. And so he well, this year they didn't get to do it, and he's like, I got to get me one of those. So we're going to he's going to end up getting one of those for when they go camping and stuff. But
Cool.
he he was like, because I was showing him, like, he's been out there when I've had the navigational lights on it, and he was like, man, you know what would be great if he could make a string of these. And I was like,
we
somebody's already said something to him about it.
We've had people say that to us. They want them for their boat dock to hang them out through there. Well, one would do a whole lot. Can you imagine if you had 5 or 6 of them darn things on?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just like so. And listen, we did something pretty cool. We took, matter of fact, I got them over here on the shelf. We took this white globe and we unscrewed it, and we put our T10 bulb. What we put one that lights up red, and this is something that we're working on. Lights up red, and we screw this white globe back in there. But when you turn it on, the whole thing fires red.
Right.
Well, we're building one to go on top of hog feeders and digger feeders, where, like in Texas, they can hunt them at nighttime, and this light is lit up everywhere around that feeder. You can see the hogs underneath, and you can shoot them just with this red light. And so But it was so crazy to see how you can take a white globe and put a red bulb inside, and this whole thing will just glow fire red. It was the darndest thing I've ever
Yeah.
seen. But that's something that we've been working with a couple of people at doing this, and you still get that same moon glow, but it's all in red. It's the craziest
That is
thing.
interesting.
So
That
yeah,
is interesting. So, and I was over here thinking, I'm, I may get one of those SL4s, and I'm thinking I can mount that on the back of my trailer for
mhm,
backing up, and then
yeah,
just have a switch to where I can turn it because I've got one of those 7 prongs. Uh, have that switch, and I can have it wired. I may
yeah.
end up doing that because that may be to where I don't have to worry about turning the other torch lights like how you was saying because
Well,
that's a
if you
great
put
idea.
this on the bumper of your truck, underneath the bumper of your truck, you see some guys do that. What's really cool is this will shine right up underneath that boat and hit the pavement and go in behind it so you can see behind it, but it's not blinding anybody while you're backing in because it's being
Right.
diffused underneath the boat. That's your point. You can mount this thing to the bottom of your back of your bumper and it'll shoot right underneath your boat so you can see out your side mirror. You'll have light come out the back. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, I mean, then if you got somebody, I mean, I'm just saying, if you happen not pulling your boat and you got somebody that's tailgating you with some brights on, and be like, "Here, watch this." You think that's
You-
bright?
oh yeah, that take care of that. Oh, that would definitely take care of that. So
Yeah.
I tell you, Chad, the more I look at them stern lights back there, I think I might just want to mount one on my truck, on the tailgate of my truck.
you
I,
know, we actually had we had didn't have a guy do it to back his truck, but we did have a guy did one to his tractor.
Yeah,
And but he was in out in Mississippi where there's just, I mean, you can't see the other side of the
yeah.
field, and he mounted that thing on tractor and stuck it up there so that the guys coming in with because all those tractors and combine stuff have just ton loads of lights on there,
Mhm.
but he's got a tractor with a trailer. He pulls up and dumps the corn out of his combine into the thing. Well, he stuck one on top of his tractor so the combine could see where he was coming through all the corn over a long distance. They could see, and I cracked up. I'm like, dude, please send me a picture of that. I want to see it so bad.
that is funny.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
pretty
crazy.
smart, really.
It's crazy to hear the little stories and stuff that you tell us about, like how other people's got your product and then they've kind of innovated it to whatever kind of purpose that they
I
need it
love
to.
it.
And you're like, hey, that's if it works for you, you know.
Hey, I love it. I love when people come up with some cool stuff that they need it for and it works great for their application. And I'm like, I just never would have dreamed when I was designing this for a particular application that how many other applications people are using it for. And I love it. I'm just like, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I just kind of had a little brainstorm. You saying that? Can you hardwire them lights?
Oh, yeah.
Because
We
I've got a big deck with a swimming pool. I might do something with that.
Yeah, there's two ways you could actually take a base that you would find in your boat,
Hmm.
and you can make you a little piece of metal, stick it in there, and then screw it to your deck, or we can send it without the bottom insert in there where the two wires come out, and you can take it to a control box, drill a hole in it, let it go through, seal it up, and then do your wiring inside the box. And I mean, so when you turn your power on for your porch out there, everything comes on. It comes on, and yeah,
Because
it's
a lot of times we'll be out there and I don't like turning the outside porch light on just because it attracts
right.
flies or bugs and stuff and
Yep.
that. That wouldn't be a bad little deal right there.
Yep, you would be able to see everything.
Well,
You
and
would.
and then when you do it, you have to send Chad a picture, though. I mean,
Oh,
Oh,
because you
absolutely, I
absolutely.
would.
That's a
Absolutely,
must.
I
I
would.
gotta have that kind of stuff. That's always fun to watch and see and yeah, it's we wear those kind of things like a badge. It's like, look what somebody
Yeah,
found to do with our stuff. You know, it's pretty cool.
yeah.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
I do have a question because I know, like what I said earlier, every time that I talk to you, you tell us, that, hey, we got this coming on and stuff like that. Now, in the future, could we happen to see like a firefly green blob? I mean, because I would love to be able to see like a green blob to where, and when I'm crappie fishing, I would love to be able to just drop that thing in the water, get all the bait fish around, and just go smash some crappie.
Well, I'm working on something right now
See,
that
see,
will be just for crappie fishermen. And we're going to use some technology that they'll end up having 5 lights, and it hooks to their boat in a unique way that powers the whole rail. So that, yeah, there is something that I'm working on, especially for crappie guys, and so but trying to figure out how this can be done very easily, how it can break down with just hinge points to collapse in a small area and then fold out and do some things. Yeah, I'm already on that. So
I told you, Pappy, every time it never fails. I'll there's always something. I mean, when Chad says that he's that little hamster's, I mean, every now and then, Chad, you're gonna have to grease that wheel because that hamster's just running 100 miles an hour. So
yeah, listen, and it gets old. Sometimes I'm like, dude, don't think of anything else. Just don't think of anything else. Just go on about your way, and
Yeah.
then I'll be doing and actually when I thought about doing the thing that I'm in the process of working with this crappy thing, these crappy lights is I had a steel trimmer in my hand with an 8 tooth blade, clearing out some stuff, some brush, underbrush and stuff, some small pine trees that were yay big around. And you just cut, and while I was doing that, it popped in my head, and I'm like, "Are you serious?" So when I got done, I came back downstairs. I got to looking, got to thinking about it, and so hopefully we'll be going into a test phase, probably by spring or so, and so we'll get out there through the summer and do some tests in a lake that not many people know about and hardly ever see anybody, and so we do a lot of our testing out there, so yeah, that ought to be fun because there's just ton loads of crappie out there. So it'll be interesting to see, and then we'll send a few people this product out once we've tested for a little while to see what they think, and let them put it through its paces, and then if everything holds good, then we'll start taking a look at bringing it to market. So nothing when you do this kind of stuff, it doesn't happen overnight. It usually starts about 2 years prior to you seeing it. So
man, and that's one thing that I love about whenever I get a chance to see you at shows or talk to you on the phone or something like that. Just the innovation of stuff that y'all have done, and it's hard to believe that this all started from y'all taking an old milk carton and stuff and just making it. And who would
yeah,
have
that
ever
old
thought?
that old telescoping crappie camouflage cane pole. It telescoped 3 times. It was just cane. It was camouflaged, and we took a oil reel bottle and squeezed
That's what.
all the oil out and glued the lid on, and then put a bulb in there and siliconed it, and then took the bottle apart and screwed it down on it. And we took it to Watauga Lake, and what was crazy was that the game wardens loved it. We're like, man, that thing's really awesome. And that's how that all came about. And that was, golly, that's getting close to 36, 37 years ago. And it stayed with me for a long, long time before I did something that would commercialize it. And the technology of carbon fiber and all that kind of stuff didn't happen back in that day. So the substrates that we use now weren't available then. So we did it. And then we patented it, and then we've got a lot of trademarks with it, and so yeah, I'm having fun doing this, guys. Coming up with some new stuff. Sometimes I really do. I'm like, I don't want to think of anything else for a little while, because when you bring several different products to market, I mean, there's just so much there. I mean, it's the development of it. You go back and forth, you change a lot of things, and then you test it and you change some more things. And then you got to get UPC codes, and you got to get pictures, and you got to get, just all kinds of Prop 65 stuff. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So by the time people see it get to market, they don't really realize at what all it took, just even for a small little item. It just is so much stuff. So
And
sometimes
that's even if it goes perfect from day one.
oh yeah,
And
oh
because
yeah,
how many renditions of the stern light, or even just the glow, did y'all have to be
oh,
able to?
it was stupid. I mean, that's why it took 6 years, or 3 years to actually get it to market, because we would do something and it wouldn't diffuse the right way. Then we'd have to change formulas, and when we changed formulas, then it changed everything. And then we started saying, well, okay, but what if we change the bulb? Does that affect it? So we went through that horse. So it took me and six engineers 3 years to develop it, to get it where it won't. I mean, it took so long. I didn't know that we would ever make it to market with it. I mean, that was a difficult process. And that's the only reason why I'd ever make it to market, was I was just too stupid to say, well, this is too much. Because there's a lot of cool ideas, guys, that people have out there, and they just get so bombarded and tired of the whole process that they quit before they get to the end. And there's a lot of great ideas that never get to see the light of day, and that's the only reason why the ones you do see is it's just people too just won't stop, won't quit, won't give up, or either they're just too stupid like me to give up. So and so yeah, so it's sometimes it is a draining thing to go through to bring new products to market. But gosh, when you get it right, man, it is so nice just to hear people say, man, thank you. And I'm like, well, that was enough for me.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is people don't realize, like you was talking about just the quality, having, there's a difference in between going to Walmart and buying $100 combo and then going out and getting a custom rod that may have cost you 150, 200 bucks, but just for the rod. But that feel that you get and having that better quality, you'll never go back. So when it comes down to like even the lights, you people kind of overlook navigational lights because all they've ever seen in a boat that comes with it is just the old aluminum rod, and so they
Yeah,
don't think nothing about it. They think that's what it is until they see the Firefly lights. And when um, when you actually have it on your boat or fish, in which I told this story multiple times. The first time that I ever experienced the Firefly light, um, I was fishing a tournament with Norman, and he had his on, and I backed him up, and I parked the truck, and I hopped into the boat off the dock, and I was just kind of looking around, and I was like, what's there's I knew that there was something different. It was a total different light, total different, and there was no moon. It was a cloudy night, and so
Mhm.
there was nothing. So I was like, what is different? And I just thought that it was just the regular navigational lights and stuff like that. And then he pointed out, he says, that's the stern light, the from Firefly. And I was like, oh, and when that being able to fish up underneath that was a game breaker. I mean,
Yeah.
it changed my whole way of how I would want to not fish,
Yeah.
because now, like when beforehand, you really, even though it has a bright light, you really could not see in just from like the ones that come from factory.
Yeah.
You really cannot see. And how this just amplifies and just shines out to where you can see details on stuff is was just amazing. And now I mean, I would used to kind of, when I'd not fish, I would stay back. And so anything that was, especially like when the fish would move up shallow, I was kind of missing, because I didn't want to throw up underneath that tree and lose my $15 chatterbait. I didn't want it, or even a spinnerbait. I did not want to throw it, because I didn't want to throw up underneath the tree and lose it. And so now, with having this, and I could see everything around, I mean, it's just pretty much, it is, I mean, it's definitely, you hit the nail on the head when you say it's like fishing underneath the full moon. Because I won't say that it's like fishing in daylight, because it's not. But when you can see details and stuff, it is a game
You,
changer.
it's so kayak guys are these, especially our juniors, are just, I mean, Lord, we can't hardly make them fast enough for these kayak guys. And what's really cool to hear from them is, they're sitting down for the most part. They do stand up some, but a lot of times they're sitting down, and this light is shining over top of their head, and they're still fishing under it, even though it's just 5 foot tall. But the that industry where these lights are being used for those kayak guys, and they're able to see a lot better, and people can see them a lot better, is really taking off. And working with several kayak companies, that push is, we've seen a lot more go to these kayak guys, which I think is awesome, but because it's entering a different part of of the fishing world in a different direction than bass boats and stuff like
Right.
that. So it's fun to see those guys, and they'll send me some pictures, and I'm like, man, that's just a cool picture. I mean, it just, and they're like, man, I can see so much, and where I'm sitting so low to the ground, it just helps so much having that light. So yeah,
And
we're really stoked about that.
and the thing is, I mean, that's a real easy. I mean, you go to Walmart and just buy the little outlet thing, and then just hook it straight up to your battery. And I mean, all you gotta do is just drill it out, put a couple screws in it, and connect the wires to your battery,
Yeah.
and you're set. I mean, and again, it kind of goes back to like what we was talking about. I mean, it's just simple product, or not product, but simple way of putting things together, of how you've minimized the effort that the angler has really have got to do to attach it to whatever kind of vessel that they're trying to use it on.
Hmm.
And uh, but again, we're gonna have some pictures and stuff that we're gonna be posting and stuff, and
Cool.
uh, of what it is. And but guys, make sure uh, you go to Firefly Marine. .com and use the Firefly. Was it 15?
Firefly 15.
Yeah, Firefly 15, and for the code, and get your Black Friday deal. And how long is that? Just for Black Friday?
No, it's going to run from the 24th of November to December the 15th.
Okay,
And
so 20.
the,
So make sure, guys, that is a deal and a half in itself. Go get you some of this product because again, these lights you are going to love. You're going to be like, why haven't I had this on my boat beforehand? And and then go check out the foul weather gear. And again, I cannot give it enough praise because it has definitely kept me dry and in some monsoons that I've been in, and I love it. Uh, there's nothing like being out on the water and any kind of weather, and then just being comfortable because then you're able to kind of fish how you want to fish and be able to do what you want to do. If you do not fish and you hunt, the Tep suit is going to keep you warm. Chad was even telling us that people are using the foul weather gear and stuff for snowmobiling. Am I correct?
yeah, yeah, there, we we got guys, deer hunting in a stand. We got guys using it. The cool thing about the Tep suit, if you're not going to be walking, if you're like, they get on snowmobiles up north, and they'll ride all day long with that Tep suit. They don't feel the cold air and wind. It keeps their body heat in. Like a compression sleeve, so they're not tired at the end of the day. We got people, deer hunting with them. We got them fishing with them. I mean, it's just, there's some people that will, if they're going to a football game or something, it's cold and they're going to be out there for several hours. They'll put that on and they'll walk and sit down and they'll stay warm the whole time without just having blankets and big jackets, and they'll just stay toasty warm. So, yeah, it's really cool to see how people are using our products, and I just think it's a hoot. I love to see when somebody shows me something new. I'm like, that's cool. So
Well,
Yeah.
I'll just say this. Pappy's probably going to be seeing the foul weather gear popping up when we're out on the truck unloading some Little Debbie's. I'm just saying.
yeah,
But somebody's crazy enough, Chad, to be out in shorts and a cutoff at
yeah.
whatever weather.
He's more of a man than I am at this point. I've gotten old enough; it hurts.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't know about that,
So,
but
man, Chad, we deeply appreciate. I was so glad that were able to kind of reschedule,
Yeah.
and have you come on, and it worked out. I think it worked out even better because how we're going to have this done, and
Oh
as it
yeah, I
to be
appreciate
like
everything.
the Black Friday deal, and but Chad, you've been on here quite a few times, and we have to ask you our last question, and so Pappy, you want to ask it away, brother?
well, Chad, I mean, yeah, absolutely, I do. I take honor in this, Chad. If you had one person that you could fish with that's currently with us or passed on, who would that be and why?
Uh, I would, I would, I've got twin boys, and they're both married. And matter of fact, Garrett, the youngest of the two by 4 minutes, he just had my second grandson yesterday. I've got six grandkids, but he had my second grandson yesterday,
Oh wow,
and so.
congratulations!
And every time that we get together and get on the water, it is such a joy. Excuse me. It is such a joy. Golly. So it helps if you swallow. Um, it is such a joy to be with them. on the water or in the deer woods or anything. So if I could have more time with them, it would just be awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is that is
And they
definitely.
both were in the military. Gary was in the Marines. Hunter is actually a lieutenant in the Navy, and he'll be getting out next year. So
Oh man.
they're all over the place. So to
Mhm.
have them close back with me, doing those kind of things that they grew up doing with me, so is always a fun thing. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That is, and tell them thanks for their time and
Yeah.
service. Um,
Absolutely.
and because again, we say this when we do the salute to valor and stuff, because if it wasn't for their sacrifice, of taking their time away from their family and stuff like that, going and doing what they have to do for this country, then we couldn't do what we enjoy doing day in and day out. And so we deeply appreciate it. And and if you could get us their name and stuff like that, when we get the coin or whatever that we decide that we're going to do, we'd love to send it to you to give to them from us.
sure.
And so, but Chad, man, I every time I love being able to talk to you and being able to run into you at shows. It never ceases to amaze me what the product that you come up with and the quality that you can tell that you just don't just go and just throw stuff together to make product. You make product and you stand by your product, and I cannot say enough about Firefly's product. I mean, from the
Thank you.
navigational lights to the foul weather gear, the shore stacker and stuff like that is just amazing uh, to just see the quality that you put into it and take that extra step, because you care about the customers and what you want them to have the best product for whatever they use it for. It's I used to say for fishing, but the more that I talk to you, excuse me, the more that I see that people are using it and innovating it for whatever to fit themselves, and that's just amazing to see. The product is so universal to other people's how they can adapt it to themselves. And it stands on its own, just to say how the quality and that you have done is just out outperforms everybody else. So
Well, I appreciate that very much, and I appreciate you having me on again. It's always fun to get to talk to you guys. Y'all have done so much for Firefly, and we're just so thankful and appreciative to all that you guys have done. Whether it's seeing us at ICAST or out on the show, or chatting on the phone, or doing the podcast. It's always we always have a good time, and I just appreciate y'all so much. And anytime y'all need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. Give me a shout.
no, we definitely
We
will not, and we need to we need to plan a trip to where we can get on some smallmouths again,
Oh yeah,
and that would be fun. But Chad, make sure you tell your wife that I hope she has a happy Thanksgiving
thanks, sir.
and happy Merry Christmas, because we know that that's just right around the corner. We're gonna
Yeah,
blink and it's
that's
gonna be
true.
here. But
Yeah,
go and enjoy that new grandbaby.
yeah.
And so again, Chad, thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
all that
guys.
you've done for Deck Talk. And so, guys, we hope that you have enjoyed this episode. Hope you have learned a lot about the lights, and maybe even you've thought of something new that you could use these lights for. And if that's the case, take a picture and email it to Chad.
Yeah,
Uh,
please.
and and then let him just see what you've done, because just like what he said, he enjoys being able to see what people has done with the product. and make sure again you go use the Black Friday code Firefly15, and let's go get you some new lights, some new foul weather gear, whatever it is they've got on that website. They have so much stuff that you're going to look and be like, man, I could use that. So right now is the best time to do it. You're going to have a Black Friday deal. So guys, hope you have a blessed day, and we will see you out on the water, guys.
God bless. See everybody.